Good morning and a very warm welcome. This is the first episode of Global 360 Degrees that we are getting for our viewers, and this time it is indeed, as far as this escalation, this conflict that has now been witnessed in the Middle East, that is going to be the top focus as we get you the global updates. But as far as the current scenario is concerned, the statement that is now coming from President Trump, how India has also now condemned the attacks on the UAE, we'll be getting you all the developments live with the expert point of view, and of course our team of reporters also continue to be with us on the ground. So first up in this special edition where we cover all of the developments that are taking place across the globe, the main focus is going to be this escalation that is now being witnessed in the Middle East. So let's first begin with this breaking update that is now coming in, where after the projectile that has now been fired from Lebanon, Israel has now struck back. And this is now coming in where Israel has now struck against Hezbollah. And it's areas where it covers, where the IDF is said to have been currently striking with a force at the targets of terror organization Hezbollah across Lebanon in response to the launches that have been fired towards the state of Israel. Because the terror organization Hezbollah that is operating under, as far as being an Iranian proxy, it opened against the state of Israel. It opened fire against the state of Israel and its citizens. And the IDF, meanwhile, has come out with a statement saying that they will act against Hezbollah's decision to join the campaign, and they will not allow the organization to pose a threat to the state of Israel or harm any residents of the north. As far as Hezbollah has been devastating the state of Lebanon, and the responsibility of the escalation lies with it, and the IDF will respond forcefully to this attack. And this is now coming in from the Israeli Defense Forces, that they say that they were prepared for this scenario as part of the orderly combat procedure within Operation Roar of the Lion, and are now ready for this multi-arena scenario to confront any threat to the state of Israel. Let's connect with Srinjoy on this. Srinjoy, this has been as far as Iran and its proxies are concerned. Israel was prepared. Israel knew that if it hits Iran, then there would be other proxies of Iran that will hit Israel.
Yes, of the proxies of these organizations, the Hamas is not very powerful anymore. There's been a lot of fighting, and much of the Hamas has been destroyed. But while the Hezbollah's abilities have been degraded, it was once the one non-government organization with the most weaponry, the Hezbollah. But now, from what we're hearing, the Hezbollah is not that powerful, is a shadow of its former self. But even then, it has the ability to fire the occasional rocket. So in these 2 days of fighting, the Hezbollah has largely been quiet, except it did fire rockets. Now, these are short-range equipment, and these were fired at northern Israel. Now the Israelis know that they have the kind of weapons that they have, and all Israeli households, or much of them, have these strong rooms, have these protection rooms where they can protect themselves. And as a result, there are very few casualties. But the Hezbollah rockets were fired, and they hit northern Israel. Israel has hit back. We are not hearing of any casualties, but important, the fact that Hezbollah still has rockets, still has missiles, and they have used it, and they hit targets in northern Israel. We have not heard of casualties so far, but the fact that they have hit northern Israel is important. Israel, of course, has hit back.
Absolutely, because that is a confirmation as the IDF struck a short time ago in targeted manner. And this is now coming in from the Hezbollah terror organization in the Beirut area. And this has been a parallel attack that the Israeli forces are carrying out against the Hezbollah outfit. And this is now coming in from southern Lebanon, as far as pictures that have also been shared. But it seems that, however weakened in stature, Hezbollah, however, still possesses quite a formidable arsenal, despite the pounding that it received from Israel during the war on Gaza. And the group may also be testing Israel's ability to handle a new front in the war, as Israel says and the IDF says that they are ready with this multi-pronged or multi-area the war or this conflict that is now continued. Let's in the meantime also talk about what Lebanon has to say, because as far as when it comes to Hezbollah targets have now been hit by Israel, the Lebanese Prime Minister has now issued a statement where he has condemned the strikes by Hezbollah, calling the strikes as irresponsible and a suspicious attack, and saying that they will not allow them to drag Lebanon in this war or in this conflict. And this is the Lebanon Prime Minister saying that they will not allow the country to be dragged into new adventures. And Nawaf Salam says that this statement that has been issued after Israel launched strikes across Lebanon in retaliation against Hezbollah's rocket fire. As the Lebanese leader, the Prime Minister says that regardless of the party standing behind him, the launching of rockets from southern Lebanon is an irresponsible and a suspicious act that endangers Lebanon's security and safety and provides Israel with pretext to continue attacks on it. So condemning the attack, Akanksha, here is the Lebanese Prime Minister saying that Lebanon will not be part of the Middle Eastern crisis.
Absolutely. We are learning that Hezbollah has attacked northern Israel. Let me take you through what IDF has said so far. They have said that IDF has struck a short time ago in a targeted manner senior terrorists from the Hezbollah terrorist organization in Beirut area. In a parallel, the IDF struck a central terrorist from the Hezbollah terror organization in southern Lebanon. Additional details to follow. And on that, as you also pointed out, Nawaf Salam, he is the Prime Minister of Lebanon. He has posted on social media that regardless of the party standing behind it, the launching of the rockets from southern Lebanon is irresponsible and suspicious act that endangers the security and safety and provides Israel with a pretext to continue the attack on it. We will not allow the country to be dragged into a new adventure, and we will take all the necessary measure to stop the perpetrators and protect the Lebanese. So that is as far as the attack by Hezbollah on from southern Lebanon on northern Israel is concerned. And now the IDF is saying that just a short time back they targeted the senior terrorists from the Hezbollah terrorist organization.
All right, Akanksha, thank you for that update. Let me also bring in Angie on this. Angie, this was being anticipated on part of Israel, because they were, believing what happened against Hamas during the Gaza war, it will happen the same as far as Iranian proxies are also concerned, because President Trump said that Iran continues to be the #1 sponsor of terror. And as far as the proxies are also concerned, they are also being hit.
That's right. And both proxies are being hit. So we just saw in the last 48 hours or so, Iran has been hitting 10 different countries, mainly because he believes that any ally of the U.S. with a base outside of Iran is going to attack them. So they've been hitting everybody. And sometimes it doesn't even make sense to, because even Keir Starmer, the UK Prime Minister, says, we're not allowing the U.S. to use our base. And we want nothing to do with this war, but yet it seems as though their base in the region was also hit. So the idea is that right now it looks a bit chaotic, but it does look as if both sides are going after each other's proxies. And this is going to escalate very, very quickly because there's so many proxies, so many surrogates. I don't know when this ends, because you're not going to get everybody, but it seems as though both sides want exactly that, is to completely flatten out U.S. allies, and also on the other side, Iranian allies. I just don't see that happening.
Well, because they've also been taken by surprise, Angie, isn't it? As far as, these particular countries are concerned, they consider themselves as a brotherhood. And they have also in a way, condemned the attacks that have been carried out by Iran on them. However, Iran seems to be in a position that anyone who is seen as a U.S. ally has been on the target terror, hit list.
That's right. And I think that's very, very dangerous. And maybe that is strategic as well, because they're trying to push the U.S. allies to coming out to saying, we don't support this war. We want nothing to do with it. And maybe that is a strategy as well. I just don't see right now hitting everything in the region being all that great, because you're going to run out of ammunition very, very, very quickly if you're going to do that. Now, these latest attacks...
But that is also a concern, Angie, because despite all of the sanctions for several years and decades on Iran and not having their own nuclear program, Iran still has substantial forces and weapon as well, as far as, ballistic missiles are concerned. And this seems to be a concern if they would anytime soon run out of weapons. I mean, look at the amount of drones that they have fired at different countries, even on the UAE. Now, what we are going to talk about and report is the Israeli Air Force has now shared videos as well, and they have begun a new wave of strikes against Iranian regime targets in Tehran. The IDF says that it is also coming across where Iranian state media reports have also been talking about explosions that have been heard in numerous areas across the Iranian capital in Tehran. That's what we are looking at these counter strikes that have now been carried out, and Israel also continues to pound the state capital. Several of the commanders there, the leadership, has been eliminated in the last 48 hours alone since Saturday that we are looking at of this Operation Lion's Roar that has started off in the Middle East. So let's connect with Rishabh on this. Rishabh, Israel continues to pound Tehran. Several videos of such strikes that have also been shared. And as far as the key locations are also concerned, we're looking at top leadership of Iranian government, of the regime and of the military command having been eliminated.
Well, see, we have seen one thing that in last 48 hours, the top leadership, the senior leadership of Iran, be it the supreme leader, be it IRGC commander, be it other, senior leaders in the regime, they have been eliminated by the strikes by US and Iran, but US and Israel. But that hasn't been able to deter Iran from what it intends to do. We have seen Iran hitting back not only Israel but other countries in the region as well, and Iran is very clear that we will hit back to anything US in the region. And as the president went on to say, the Iranian president, that we will hit back to an extent where Israel and US will regret hitting Iran in the first place. So that is something that is ongoing. The war is such from both the sides. US is releasing videos of strikes in Tehran. There are multiple strikes in Tehran. Senior leadership is being killed, but the counter strike is equally worrisome. Anything US in West Asia is being hit right now. Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Doha, Bahrain, Kuwait, all these countries have been hit. Now from Lebanon, the Hezbollah has also started hitting Israel. So the whole area, the whole West Asia right now is in mid of a war. And the extent is such that UAE had to decide to keep the stock markets closed. Yes. Dubai and Abu Dhabi stock markets are closed today because they fear that...
Well, as far as Prime Minister Modi also had a word with the UAE president where he has condemned the attack, and there is a sizable number of, Indians who are actually residing in the Middle East as well, and that is a concern that also grows as many of them are still reportedly stuck at the airports when it comes to multiple of these countries that have been hit by Iranian drones and missiles. Please to stay on with us, Rishabh, because the capital Tehran that has been rocked numerous times after series of attacks hit multiple neighborhoods, with the Israeli army saying that military centers were among the targets. Iranian authorities, however, have largely refrained from discussing missile impacts, and the internet connectivity, however, still remains entirely blocked as far as when it comes to the third day. If we take a look, today being a Monday, that has been reported in Iran. In the meantime, counter strikes continue. Missile interceptions that have been reported in central Israel, and fresh pictures are coming in of Iranian attack on Jerusalem. Let's connect with Mohit on this. Mohit, how the situation within 24 hours after Prime Minister Modi left Israel has drastically changed. And we are now looking at the Iron Dome that has been activated once again to intercept this fresh barrage of missiles that are now coming in from Iran.
Well, yes, Amita, in fact, you see, Iron Dome has been activated, but as we are playing in this visual, few of the missiles have hit central Israel and also Jerusalem. And what we are getting to know as of now is that, and it has been confirmed by the various officials from Israel, that how multiple civilian casualties have taken place in Jerusalem and also in Tel Aviv, and also Bet Shemesh has also been badly hit by the Iranian forces, Iranian missiles, and these are the visuals that we are playing on our screens about the interception of missiles, and also there is a large-scale damage in Jerusalem where people have lost their lives. We know for a fact that how Iran clearly stated that they will be indulging in retaliatory strikes, and perhaps that is why we see barrage of drones and missiles have been charged towards Israel. Many areas in central Israel, Bet Shemesh, Jerusalem and Tel Aviv have been hit. People are still living in bunkers. There are continuously sirens going on in Israel, but we are being told, I've spoken to various local people over there. They say that they have been living in bunkers since yesterday, and many of the areas have been badly hit in Israel. Many civilians have also lost their life, and this has been confirmed by the Israeli authorities. And these are the fresh visuals that we are playing of the late night strikes on Israel by the Iran.